Look at your goofy ass. Look at your goofy ass. If you want to get married, if you married, get out of this mindset that you don't want your wife to work. This is going to stress you out if you are stuck paying all the bills and providing. In this economy, most couples are working. Most married people are working. Get out of this mindset that I don't want my wife to work. She should not have to work. What the hell do you think she's doing while you're at work and she's at home doing nothing? You know what I mean? So, you know how many guys who are working, the wife don't work, but these guys come home to a dirty house, no cooked meal. There's a video on Twitter. This Mexican dude. Usually these women be cooking. He came home. He works construction. He came home. All his wife had, she just got him a slice of pizza. The house was a mess. This is the life you want? We got guys on TikTok talking about, I don't want my wife to work. She shouldn't have to work. Okay. Give her all the power, but then it ain't worth it, man. Because when she divorces your ass, she's going to get a huge ass settlement from your goofy ass. But again, these guys they don't learn. Why don't you want your wife to not work? Why? How, you want her to have this nice, comfortable life, huh? You are going to be stressed providing. Y'all remember that video I did on that nurse on my main channel? That nurse who had to take a honey pack because he's so stressed with bills. They're about to have their second kid and he's a nurse. And they're surviving on one income, a nurse in New York. That is not enough to take care of a wife who ain't working and 2 kids. That is not enough. In New York, no. But a lot of guys they lack common sense. I get it. You make 70, 80K, but you make 70, 80K. That is not enough to take care of a freaking family in America. You will be broke. The cost of living is at an all-time high. You are never going to get ahead. You're going to be living paycheck to paycheck, having no retirement, no savings because you're living off of credit cards. Y'all got to have a car, right? You got to pay for childcare. That is expensive. All those bills add up. You're on one income. So if someone gets fired or someone gets let go, mass layoffs going on, y'all are screwed. What the hell are you going to do? She ain't working. So you're going to have to take any job you can do. Uber Eats, DoorDash, working at the grocery store. You're going to have to take any job you can get because you got to put your pride aside because you have a family to take care of. Why would you want to put yourself through that stress? To be providing for your you can't afford to, but you're providing for a family knowing you live paycheck to paycheck. You don't think that's going to cause issues in the marriage? Y'all going to start arguing. Infidelity is not the main cause of divorce. It's finances is the number one reason, number one cause for divorces, not infidelity. You guys are arguing about bills. When you guys are living paycheck to paycheck, penny pinching, yeah, she's going to get tired of not doing shit. She's going to want to go on some trips. We need to go on a family trip, which knowing you can't afford. It's expensive to go on a family trip. Your wife, 2, 3 kids, that's going to be, yeah. You're going to be maxing out credit cards again. Most guys don't gain nothing by being a provider, man, in a marriage because these women take these guys for granted. A lot of provider guys get cheated on, take advantage of, and these guys get screwed over in a divorce. These women get the house, get the assets, all that, and he has to move in his studio apartment. What do you gain by providing in 2026? Even if you met the right girl, I get it. If you meet someone, you fall in love, and you feel like this is your duty, but women can work too. They fought for feminism for this. They work. Don't ever allow a woman to come into your life who was making 6 figures in corporate America or tech. Don't ever let this woman come into your life saying, I do not want to work no more. No, you have a degree. Your ass is going to work. You're not going to live off of me. What was the point of you getting the freaking degree sucking all that D at your job to move up, but now you want to quit because you're probably embarrassed because everyone knows your business. Don't save these women. Listen, I'm telling you, when a woman makes, this is happening a lot right now because there's mass layoffs. There's no real job security people fear. You got a lot of women who climb the corporate ladder. Now they are burnt out. They don't want to do it no more. That's not our problem. It's not our job to save these freaking women. These are grown ass adults. They can save themselves. It is not your job to be taking care of these grown adults. This is happening a lot, but do not allow these women to come into your life. They were working at a high 6-figure job. And they want to quit now to stay at home. No, that is a lazy woman. What was the point of going to college? What was the point of getting into this debt if you don't want to work? Do not allow these women to come into your life. You're better off alone than having a lazy ass woman in your life as a freaking liability. Put your foot down. Have some standards. These women have standards. Why do you allow these women to come into your life who bring no freaking value? Put your foot down. Put your foot down as a man. Tell straight up. You're going to work. You're not going to be living off of me. But you guys feel like this is your duty, but you guys end up always getting screwed in divorce and you don't see it coming. Shoot, most women plan their divorce on the honeymoon. Right after you get married, on the honeymoon. They start taking mental notes of all the dumb stuff you do. All the times you pissed her off. Don't do this, I'm telling you. Like, if you got the money, fine. But if you know dang well you ain't got the money, you are struggling, do not do that. You can be working every day, stressed, because you have a family to provide for. In 2026, this ain't the time to be doing this. This is time for you to be putting some money for retirement, you saving some money, and you building on your own. Because this is going to set you back. All these married people who are struggling right now, trying to act like they got it like that, they're struggling. They have no savings, no retirement. They can't even pay for their kids to go to college. So their kids are going to repeat the same mistakes they did. Their kids are going to have to get student loans, graduate in the negative, in the red. Because some parents who got their money, they pay for they pay for their kids' college tuition like that. These kids don't got to get loans. And let me tell you something. These guys, you guys who have kids and stuff, we're at a time right now. Even if your kids grow up to 18, these people are going to have their kids still live with them, even when these kids are 25, 26, 27, still supporting them, because that's happening now. And it's going to continue to get worse down the line. So you're going to be on the hook forever. But if you want to do this, I hope it works out for you. But this ain't going to end well for most men. Let's watch this video.
Married, but don't want to work, should not have to work. And if you're a man and you're married and your wife doesn't want to work, why are you making her work? Why are you making her work instead of...
Because she has a fucking degree, that's why. And she needs to pay off her student loans. That's why her goofy ass is going to work and not be sitting on her fucking ass. But this is a guy who's been pussy whipped. You can tell he ain't that dude. He ain't no Chad. He ain't no Ty. He ain't that dude. He got to pay for pussy, which a lot of guys are paying, but he lives his life by kissing his wife's ass and making content like this. Because he don't have no balls, that's why. A real man provides. What was the fucking point of fighting for feminism when now these women are burnt out and want to sit on their fucking ass? You can tell that he's the bottom and his wife is the top in the relationship.
Of having her do what she actually wants to do every day. In the current economy, you need a 2-income household. No, you don't. You wouldn't need a 2-income household.
Don't believe this dumbass dude. You need a 2-income household to raise a family. If y'all want to do this stupid shit, get married, have kids, broke as fuck, y'all gonna be living paycheck to paycheck. Your kids are gonna have to get student loans, which is not fair to them, to go to college because you can't afford to pay their college tuition. This guy is, no. You already know how it is. No.
If you didn't want that boat, And if you didn't have that brand new truck, and if you didn't have that motorcycle, and if you didn't have that giant house that you don't need, I'm tired of this narrative that we live in a world where you have to have a 2-income household. Again, no, you do not. The truth is that a lot of men want their women to work so that they can afford all of those toys that they don't need. Women were not meant to sit on the clock for 40 to 50 hours a week doing something that they don't even like to.
Okay, but they fought for that though. Yeah, women were not meant to work, but they fought for that. They fought for feminism. This is why they wanted to work. They weren't meant to do this, but this is what they wanted.
Do. Again, this doesn't apply to women who want to work. I'm talking about those who don't. And you, as a man, owe it to her to give her that life. And to the
You do not owe these women shit. You owe yourself to have a retirement. You owe yourself to have savings. You owe yourself to be selfish. You owe yourself to take care of you, not these women.
women watching this, if he doesn't want to give you that life, then he doesn't love you as much as he says he does. Sorry, but that's just how it is.
So I don't want my future wife to work a job at all, and it's probably not for the reason that you guys think. It's not because I want control over where she is, what she's doing, all this. No. It's like I get to pick one person in my life, one person in my family, and it's her. And I want her life to be like the best ever. And fellas, it's our job as men to be the providers, to come and actually like do this stuff, go hunt, go kill, bring home the bacon. And you telling me that you're gonna come home to your wife that just got off of a freaking hour-long commute in rush hour traffic back home? No, dude. That's not gonna be the most feminine and amazing version of her. Like, you want your wife glowing, dude. Like, you want your wife to come home. You want to come home and she just got done with her Pilates and she hung out with her girlfriend. She had a few Aperol Spritz and she's just glowing, ready to see you, man. You got your freaking dogs there. Like, dude, that's the game. That's the game.
Does your wife work? I said, no, my wife is a mother of 4 kids at home. He said, then how do you do it? He said, I know basically what you're making here. How do you do it? I said, well, it's a very, very difficult, very complex, very mathematical equation. I said, you sure you want to hear it? He said, I want to hear it. I said, you sure? He said, man, I'm sure. How do you do it? I said, we say no. We just say no. No, we're not going out to eat. No, we don't need satellite TV. No, you don't need $100 pair of basketball shoes. No, we don't have to have TV dinners. No, my wife can cook. You just say no. No, I bought a 1976 Dodge Dart, paid cash for $700. I don't need a car payment. I just need a vehicle that'll get me from point A to point B. I said, just say no. Live within your means.
I don't want to get married until I'm able to make sure that my wife does not have to work. I don't want my wife to work. I'll like my girlfriend. If you my girlfriend and we boyfriend and girlfriend, yeah, work, make some money, do what you got to do, and we come together and we do what we got to do and build a foundation, build an empire. But once you become my wife, I don't want you working. If you want to do something on the side for yourself to make a little extra money and everything like that, that's cool. Do that. Like if you feel like you want to keep yourself busy and occupy your time or whatever, you could do whatever you want. You can, sell products online. You can, do some, side hustle work, whatever you want to do. If that's what you want to do, I'm not going to stop my woman from doing something if she want to keep busy. I just don't want her to feel like she's forced to do it, or I don't want her to feel like she has to do it. I want her to be comfortable in doing what she wants to do on her own accord, because I want to be able to come home and see my wife happy. I want to be able to come home and see that she has the space to do things around the house,
But do you know how many women who are stay-at-home moms who do not like it? They're complaining on Reddit all the time. I don't like this life. They're not happy. These women divorce these guys all the time. So you think just because she's not working, she's going to be happy? Okay.
To make herself happy, because once we have a house together, the house is yours. Like, I don't even care for the house. Me personally, I don't care for a house. I only want a house for my family. I want my wife to be happy. I want my kids to be happy. I could live in a fucking car. I could live in a hut. I could live in a tent. I don't give a fuck. But me personally, I don't want my wife to work. I want to come home to a beautiful wife, happy wife, happy life. That's how I see it. I'm not a
And this mindset does not get these men nowhere but to divorce court. All the guys who've been divorced by their wives, how did that work out for them? Happy wife, happy life.
Trick, but I'm a provider. For my household, for my woman, for my person, oh yeah, you get whatever you want, baby. And it's like, for me, my ultimate goal
Yeah, he's going to have to leave with money, you know? He's going to have to leave with money.
is and gonna always be, I want to be the sole provider for my household. I want to be able to make it to where my woman don't even have to work.
So he may be in a truck. He may have a CDL, right? It looks like he's in those trucks, right? Those guys get cheated on all the time because they're never home. They're driving trucks state to state. They're never home. So I get it. You want to provide, okay, when you're driving trucks and you're on the road, their wives are doing what the hell they want to do while they're not home, getting banged out while he driving trucks. He calling her while he driving the truck. She ain't picking up because that nigga arched that back. Arch it. She got her back arched for some other dude. He was so dumb enough not to put cameras in the fucking house. But a lot of guys they're gonna have to learn the hard way, and there's nothing we can do to save these guys. These guys are gonna have to learn the hard way.
She ain't even gotta pay a bill. She ain't gotta do none of that. That's my goal as a man. I feel like that should be.
That's your goal as a man, to take care of a woman. Your goal should be being financially stable, building an empire for yourself. Your goal should be to have retirement. That's why so many of these men, they're not able to retire because they put a woman first. This should never be a man's goal, ever.
All of our goals, you feel me? Like, that's a flex. It ain't about being a trick or nothing. It's just about being a provider, being the man of your household. You know what I'm saying? I want my woman to just look good, you feel me? And just make sure she take care of herself, make sure she take care of the.
And these guys who are overweight, like providers, they get cheated on all the time too. Guys, you're not in shape. You have to overcompensate, you know? Yeah, I'll pay all the bills, do whatever you want, but just as long as you're giving me that used up coochie, that makes me happy.
Family, take care of the household, leave the hard labor up to me, you feel me? Make sure you got that dinner cooked. Make sure you stay soft and looking good. That's all I ask, and respect me.
And she'll be cooking them a bullshit TV dinner. Not, whew. Wow.
Everything else, shit, I leave that up to daddy. Feel like the ultimate goal should be to make sure your woman got to move a finger as least as possible. You know what I'm saying? If my girl don't want to work, it's my job to make sure she ain't got to work. So it's like, I got to work.
Why do I feel like these guys who put this on TikTok are just trying to get pussy? I feel like this is
10 times harder to get to that point where, you know what I'm saying? My girl, she ain't got to work. That's the goal, man. If it ain't y'all goal, what's y'all goal? Shit.
To build on our own, to have retirement, to have savings, to have an empire on our own, to build our own shit. We're not pussy whipped. We don't put women on a pedestal. That's our goal. To do stuff that's going to make us happy.
What is y'all goal? Shit, because the men that's walking around with these fine ass women who ain't got to work, hey, I'm trying to get like y'all. That's a flex.
A lot of these younger women that buy into this feminist bullshit, I got to go out into the workforce and hear me roar. They get, 1 or 2 years into the workforce and they realize, man, this sucks. And they don't want to be there anymore. They don't want to have to be the provider. They want to stay home. Their natural instincts start kicking in. Ideally, as a man, it is your job to be able to provide so your woman can stay home if she wants to. But as a man, if my woman wants to stay home, I need to step up and provide that for her because it's better for my family, it's better for her, and it's ultimately going to be way better for me and our relationship if she's in her natural space, in her feminine energy. If you can't provide that, and it's two people working separately to provide, to take care of the home, then both people need to share that division of workload when you get home. Cooking, of cleaning, of taking care of kids. It's not the woman's job to take care of that shit. She's working too. She's put in hours in the workforce, and so you divide that labor up between you. Sometimes guys are like, I'm working, I need you to work because I want us to have a better quality of life than we have right now. And then they still expect her to do all the household chores. It's unfair, and it's in a lot of ways very hypocritical. And I think ultimately you're diminishing your quality of life by keeping the woman out of the house. I think the best case scenario is when a man is able to provide for his family and his woman is able to provide for the home, and you have that balance of responsibilities, and it puts you both in the energy, the natural energy that God has given us. And that's where you really see things working the way they should work, most importantly for the kids.
Alpha men don't split the rent. We don't split bills.
Alpha men do not split bills. Okay. But he over here working his ass off, huh? Never home.
My girl don't need to work. I'm not saying she gonna be a bum or whatever. I'm just saying.
That is a bum if she's not working. And he said girl, so you didn't even put a ring on it, dude. She's not even your wife, but you're letting a girlfriend live rent free. This ain't no alpha male shit. It's not.
She don't need to bust her ass at work. That's what I'm here for. That's what I'm the man in the house for. My wife, my woman, could focus on making, having a little side business.
Well, I guess she's his wife, yeah. So I guess this is his wife.
Making money if she wants. If she don't want to, she can ask me, bro. I don't mind working 7 days out of the week, going home and spending time.
Bruh, working 7 days a week. This ain't it, dude. This is not it. But again, he signed up for this. He signed up for this. And this ain't gonna end.
My family, of course, when I'm home, I'm for the family. I'm not going to the club, I'm not chilling with my friends, I'm not doing none of that. Alpha men don't move the same as other men, bro. We just don't. I don't need to be at the club throwing money to prove I got money. My wife.
But you don't got money to throw because your money's going to your kids and wife. You don't got no extra money. You working 7 days a week, bro. Thinking that this is a flex what real men do. Hell no. This ain't no way to live.
Gotta sit here and go to a job she don't like going to because we need money in the house for this, that, and the third. Like I said, I pick up 2, 3 jobs. Work 4, 5 days, 6, 7 days out of the week just to make it happen. That's what being an alpha is. This shit is not.
Bro, so you're working yourself to death. You are working yourself into a grave, dude. This is going to cause all these health issues, and you're working 7 days a week. I used to do 7 days a week. I used to do that. It was not healthy. My blood pressure was high. It was not healthy. Your body's going to deteriorate, man. And you think this is what real men are supposed to do?
Everybody, I'm not even bragging either. Some niggas really just don't got it in them. As long as my wife taking care of the kids, making sure that everything is straight, bro, when I get home, she ain't got to worry about nothing. I'm finna make it happen. Period.
Bruh, he happy too. Listen, man, I don't see this ending well. I see this guy working himself into a grave, overworking himself into a divorce. And this ain't gonna end well for bruh. This ain't gonna end well at all. But a lot of guys have this mindset, but you can't save them. They gotta learn the hard way. But let me know what y'all think in the comments. I'll holla at y'all. Peace.